What's up, internet world? Man, Cousin Leon just checking in again, man. Just on the way out here to get back on this grind for the day, get some money. I was just thinking, I know I had a word for the day, man. Just the quote for the day is, you cannot change or solve your own problems with the same level of consciousness that created those problems. And I read that online, man. It's supposed to be a quote from Einstein, but to be honest with you, man, I've seen a lot of stuff being attributed to Einstein that he probably didn't even say, but the words themselves ring true. You cannot solve your problems with the same level of consciousness that created the problems. And as I was reading that, man, this is the funny thing. As I was reading that, I thought about all the problems I've had in life, like all the stuff I've gone through, all the stuff that I've had friends go through. When I was younger, I ran with a different group of friends, and boys were selling dope back then, man, and just back in the 90s, so I don't know, some of y'all probably wasn't even born, but I had homies, man, back then that was, selling drugs. So they would start businesses. I know one in particular started a business with the money he made from the dope game, right? Well, he went from the dope game into this business that he had with the same dope game mentality. And that's really what's screwed up about selling drugs. Like people that come up selling drugs, man, they get it in their mind that they hustling and that they running a business, that they doing something big by selling dope. But to be honest with you, man, drug dealers are not hustlers. They never been hustlers. Selling people stuff that they are addicted to is not a hustle. So that's backwards thinking. Let me tell you that first. Selling people stuff that they're addicted to, they're going to buy it. You just got to be somewhere around for them to find you. They come looking for you. Selling people stuff that they're addicted to is not a hustle. That's a lazy man's way of thinking of what hustle is. Now selling people ice cream in the middle of December, that is a hustle. Selling people stuff that they don't need, but convincing them to give you money for it. Convincing them to buy it from you. That's what hustling is. Selling people stuff they're addicted to is not a hustle. Anyway, but let's go back to, let's go back to my thought of the day. Yeah, man, I knew dope boys, right? Man, hey, they'll sell people shit that they are addicted to. And one guy that he started, he had the money, he put the money up to get this little gas station going. Well, the gas station did okay for a minute, but he couldn't keep the shelves stocked in it. And people aren't necessarily addicted to gas, but they needed it for their vehicles, you know what I'm saying? So he started with like 2 pumps, I think. Might have been 4. Started with 4 pumps at that gas station. And he would get the occasional car would drop through, get some gas, probably go in and buy a pack of cigarettes, whatever. But with his mentality, right, all of his homies and dudes who was selling for him and all that stuff, they'll hang around the gas station. Well, it kind of got to the point. It kind of got to the point that people were just scared to stop there, because all they saw was a bunch of hood motherfuckers sitting around the gas station. It's almost like people thought they'd get robbed if they stopped to get gas. But my homies, homeboys, man, and his workers, or his people that was selling for him, he had one or two of them working at the gas station, and they was robbing him blind, nickel and diming him to death. But he couldn't understand for the life of him, like, why this was happening. But his mentality was, he only dealt with people from the hood. You know what I'm saying? That was his thing. He only dealt with hood folks. So he didn't know how to communicate with other people or communicate on a business level. Because then again, keep in mind, in his mind, selling dope was a business and he was a hustler. All right. Dope selling really ain't a business in that regard. I guess if you just consider the bottom line of it, you exchange dope in exchange for money. Okay, it's somebody's buying what you're selling. So I guess, in some sense, yeah, that's business. You can call that business. But yeah, man, the problem my homie had when he was selling dope was it always attracted the wrong people, or it always attracted the wrong caliber of people, or people with certain frames of mind, and something would always happen or go wrong. They either try to slick talk him, they either try to fast talk or game him on something, one way or the next, trying to game him. But it was always a problem. And he couldn't understand for the life of him why he just couldn't come up and get out of that situation. Well, he built his existence in the hood, in that situation. He created his own problems, dealing with low-level people that had low-level ways of thinking, that did low-level shit. But yeah, man, it's crazy because he was trying to figure out how to get past that. But he would only deal with people that had vocabularies of 4-letter words or less, unless they was cussing, right? He was dealing with that level of people. But he was always wondering why he couldn't come up and why he was always having problems. And it's crazy, man, but he had the same level of consciousness that created the problem. He only dealt with certain people. Well, certain people, what I mean is he only dealt with a certain segment of the population. They were all druggies too, either drug sellers or drug users, and fast talkers, and other people that call themselves hustlers, but really, again, they was just selling people stuff that the people were addicted to. That is not hustling. Like, for real. Going to the beach and selling swim trunks and bathing suits to people who already come to the beach wearing swim trunks and bathing suits, that is a hustle. You selling people stuff they don't need. You got to talk them into wanting it. You got to talk them into paying your price for it. You know, it's a bunch of dynamics that goes on in selling or business. In legitimate business, there's a bunch of dynamics that go on in that. But yeah, man, it's funny because I remember my homie, man, trying to solve the problem of dealing with people that was always slick talking him, always trying to rob him for something, always trying to steal from him. He was trying to deal with that problem, but his level of consciousness never changed. And yeah, I guess the moral of this whole spiel, while I'm thinking about it, is it's not just limited to drug dealing or drug dealers. But this is like, it's in all levels in life. If you have a problem that you created, you cannot solve it with the same level of consciousness. You got to figure out why you having the problem. You have to decode the people that you deal with. You have to definitely look yourself in the mirror. Just stare at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself some hard questions to get past a lot of the issues that you're having when the problems are self-created. I mean, I can go on, and it's crazy because I can think of a lot of stuff, a lot of people's problems, that a majority of people that have problems created their own problems. And then they get stuck in a rut because after my homie, they started living in circles. Because after my homie was stuck in a rut, he was tired of selling dope because he bought this gas station and paid all the money to get the tanks clean and filled and tried to get the shelves stocked. He stopped selling dope. You know what I'm saying? He stopped. And then he started hiring people from the hood, from the same area. Got the word out, that he owned this gas station. So some of the other dudes that were selling dope started hanging out at the gas station. You know, I said that earlier. They were bringing all of their issues and problems. Some of them even started trapping at the gas station at night when my homeboy was at the crib. They was trapping at the gas station, had their customers coming up there, you know. And yeah, man, my dude couldn't understand why the problems that he had were following him. And then the gas station went downhill. He found himself in a position not having money to stock the shelves, not keeping like potato chips, cookies, drinks, and you know what I'm saying, the gas station had bills. He didn't have a liquor license, not for that gas station. And it's crazy. Well, not only did he buy a gas station, he bought a little rundown corner liquor store too. Oh, that's another one I gotta tell you about. But yeah, the gas station, man, he couldn't keep the shelves stocked, and the bills were steady rolling. The refrigerators that the drinks were in, the sodas were in, and all that stuff. I mean, electricity was running to keep the refrigerators cold. So bills were steady running. And my homeboy was just like, after he had the business, everybody congratulating him, his mama, his aunties, his cousins. Oh, you can give us a job. We can work for you. We can do this and we can do that. They was all stealing from him too. You know what I'm saying? And then it was funny because before it was all over, the gas station went downhill. But before it was over, man, I remember my homeboy saying, man, shit, I'll just go back to selling dope if I had to. But the truth is, he ain't never have to. That's just what he did because that's where his level of thinking was. Man, we were young at the time, though. I say young now, but I mean, we were grown. But it's just funny to see how that works. He goes from selling dope to buying a gas station to getting a liquor store, having a gas station and a liquor store. But he couldn't build his clientele up because the same people that had that low-level frame of mind found out that he had the liquor store. So they was always at the liquor store, always. They started, some of the dudes started trapping over there at the liquor store because their homeboy owned the liquor store. So they were safe. They felt safe chilling out on my home, at my homeboy's place. Well, it got to the point that people, patrons, customers, were afraid to even go to the liquor store because of the type of characters that hung around at the liquor store and the gas station. And some of the liquor was coming up missing. You can imagine that. Folks were stealing bottles of liquor and all that. You know what I'm saying? And then for the patrons and the winos that was actually buying stuff out of there, his own family was stealing from him. They had their hands in the cash register, taking money. So, yeah, man, needless to say, they drove my homeboy in the ground. And when he was just selling dope, I mean, back then he was balling. You know what I'm saying? He was balling because he got up the money to buy a gas station and buy a liquor store. But he only created more problems for himself because he had the same level of consciousness. He thought he was doing something good by putting people to work in the hood. But they went to work all right. They went to work robbing the shit out of him. They robbed his ass out of business. You know what I'm saying? And then with his circular way of thinking and not raising his level of consciousness, he, instead of just selling that stuff and buying somewhere else in another neighborhood or in a better area of town, instead of selling that stuff and buying something else and changing the trajectory of people that he hired, or changing all the people, hiring people with better mindsets, or hiring respectable people, and probably getting a security guard to keep people from hanging out at the corners of the gas station and the liquor store. He could have sold both of those properties and bought either a gas station, started another gas station, or a liquor store in a better area of town, or in an area of town that he wasn't known in, and just not tell his people about it, not tell everybody from his hood about it, and he could have possibly survived, had a viable business, and grew from there. No, but what happened was, after he sold his gas station and the liquor store, he was behind on bills with him and everything, like electric bills, water bills. He just amassed this stack of bills from trying to run a business. My homeboy's level of consciousness never changed. It remained the same. And once he got rid of the gas station and the liquor store and paid his bills, paid what bills he had outstanding, the first thing he did was went and bought some more dope. Went back on the block. But at this time, I mean, this is what did him in, though. Now, at this time, everybody else that was out there on the block, even dudes who was working for him, or they weren't, I mean, they was buying from him. They weren't working for him. They was just buying from him. But even those dudes was looking at him out the side of their face, like, oh, yeah, buddy got that bread. Oh, he be buying liquor stores and shit, buying gas stations. Buddy got that bread. What he doing back out here? He must be trying to make all the money. Now he trying to make the money from us. He trying to make what we get. You know what I'm saying? So then it was a lot of jealousy and hatred from his own folks, or from folks who was cool with him, like folks he was cool with in the beginning. Now it's a bunch of jealousy and hatred from him because they think he really got some bread. And he just out there trying to get the money back up that he had before. So he back out on the block. Well, it did him in, man, because, hey, man, they robbed my homeboy. Some jealous dudes out there, man, robbed my homeboy, man, and killed him, you know? The level of consciousness he had back then did not change. And it's funny because a lot of people, man, that's selling dope or that sold dope, they got a real twisted view of what business is because they were in the business of selling dope. They think all businesses run that way. And it's crazy because they try to start a legitimate business and don't know where to start. They understand the whole give a service or give a product, get some money for the product. They understand that, but they don't understand business. And instead of raising your level of consciousness, man, the problems you create will end up being the same problems that do you in. The problems you create will be the same problems that'll kill you, or get you killed, or get you sent to the poorhouse if you do not elevate your level of consciousness. At any rate, man, it's just something that was on my mind, man. I just had to tell some people about. Or I thought I'd just say it to y'all. But yeah, it's true. You cannot solve your own problems with the same level of consciousness that created the problems. Think about that, man. Let that digest in your brain, for real. It's time to grow out here, fellas, ladies, fellas, and those in between. It's time to get some green. You know what I'm saying? If you don't understand how important it is to constantly elevate your consciousness, you are doomed, destined for failure. You are doomed. Let that sit in your mind for a minute, man. And for those of y'all that want to come up, man, just send me an email. theothernomads@gmail.com. theothernomads@gmail.com. Just stay in touch with me. Let me know you saw the video, or let me know you've seen any of my videos. And if what I'm spitting out resonates with any of you, just hit me up, man, and ask me. Ask me questions. I'll probably do videos on them. Or, you know what I'm saying, I'll introduce you to some other ways that you can make some money. Oh boy, I'm almost out here, you know what I'm saying, to get started on my thing for today. Right? I mean, not really bragging or blowing my own horn or nothing, but being $100 an hour electrician, man, is a sweet life. It's a sweet life. Having a contractor's license to do heating and cooling is a sweet life. But there are other ways. Y'all don't have to be electricians to get money. You don't have to